Welcome back to a new video. So in this session, it was weird. I felt really good, even though I trained really heavy yesterday, as far as the speed and the kind of just the aggression, the ability to, put the bar in the correct positions. I think some of that was the same kind of counting thing I talked about in the last video, where I adjust my hand 6 times, count to 4, then take 3 hard breaths and go. I was able to do that again with all of the lifts that I did today, even kind of with squats. I modified a little bit, but I'll talk about it a little bit when I get to those. But for the no foot snatches that I'm doing here, as well as the power clean push presses, in a sense, I improved from the previous week as far as the weight I got up to. I believe last week I went to 110 in the no foot snatch, and then you see there, missed the first 110 behind, then went up to 112, missed it twice. I was able to get on the third one. So in some sense, I went up a little bit in weight, but the weight was just feeling really good. And it was annoying because it was super close, and I didn't really feel like until I got to the last 117, because I made it here, and then I was like, all right, we're going up, because that felt so good. It just felt locked in, and it's annoying. Days like this are annoying in some sense, but it's also really encouraging because it's just super close to being like a fantastic day of training. A lot of that's just, fatigue from the previous day, not fully dissipating, but it was super close to hitting 117, which I think would have been the most I've done without straps as far as the no foot has gone. But the speed felt really good. Just everything felt really good. It's just not quite there on a lot of those misses. But once I missed 117 the next time, or the second time, moved on to push presses here. And these also went really well. So I went 70, 100, 120, and you see the 120 moved really well. So I went all the way up to 130, and this one was annoying because it slipped down my shirt a little bit, because I actually caught it pretty well, but it literally just kind of skipped down my shirt a little bit. And so on the second one, was super close. I was just pushed down front, and it was just right. You can always kind of, when you do enough push presses or presses and stuff, you can kind of tell the point from which it gets stuck, and if it's just a little bit past that, you can grind through it. I definitely think if I would have been able to do the first power clean, I would have had a pretty good chance at doing the push presses there. But also with the push presses, increased from last week where I did 115 for the top single, then I missed 125, and did 120 really easily and felt really good about the 130. And in a sense, I guess I kind of power cleaned it twice, but obviously the first one doesn't really count when it slips off your shirt. But the way I normally miss power cleans is when they push me down all the way to doing a full clean. And there it was literally, I actually have the same I have a red version of the shirt that you're seeing in the video on. And I think it's just a little bit too loose at the top. So I have to keep that in mind if I'm doing heavier cleans with it. It's a really comfortable, it's like a thinner shirt too. It's really nice when wasn't cold or anything, but it's just nice to wear for training. Because they're kind of just wore out shirts, and most of my shirts turn into, I wear them for school and then they eventually wear out and they turn into training shirts, which most of my shirts end up being training shirts in any capacity, but I try to not wear ones that I want to be nice for a while until they're wore out. But as you saw there, I was able to get to 230 in the back squat, which was surprisingly easy. Part of me, I knew I had to get hyped up to do that 230 set and really get locked in. But when I looked at it or thought about how it felt even right after, I was like, I could probably have gone up. And I don't know if that means I want to increase the next week or maintain the same weight. So I'm pretty far ahead of the schedule of the back squats. And what I was kind of thinking with these last now 4 weeks for the competition is to kind of peak the squat either next week or the week after, and then drop it not crazy far, but down to 220, and really focus on doing the speed of the single and not so much on the top weight. I also need to make sure I add in some front squats as well, but back squat felt really good. I knew with the 210, with how easy I moved that the 230 was going to be a weight that I was going to do as long as I did the technique correctly, maintained my position. Oh, the breathing, I forgot to mention that too. So I did a similar thing. You don't see it on the video, but when I'm kind of, put my hands on the bar, do that 6 things, adjusting. And then as I'm counting to 4, I kind of go underneath and then take the 3 sharp breaths to get tight and unrack the bar. What that is forcing me to do is just kind of commit to doing the lift a little bit faster, because just like with the snatch and clean jerk, I'll just wait too long to do, especially with a heavy weight. and it's not as much of a detriment when you haven't taken the bar off the rack yet, but I want to kind of commit and start doing that where you just go with it. And I think that's something that helped as well. So once I unracked the bar, then it was just three sharp breaths, and then the big breath in to tighten everything up, and then just to go. So I'm excited about that because that felt good, and the 230 moved a lot better than I even thought it would. I was pretty convinced it was going to be a really difficult lift, but kind of encourages me that next week that if I do that part of me wants to just try 245. That would be really cool, but I feel like that to be a bit too much. And if I were smart, which I'm not, but I feel like I should try something between 240 and 245. Like I jump a 5 kilo PR, that'd be a little bit too much. But if I did something like 242, that would be something that would be more attainable potentially. So we'll see. All depends how I feel. It's not mission critical for me to hit a back squat PR, just to hit something heavy and then to kind of regress the intensity of it to try to develop some of the speed from the strength from those top singles. But continue with the volume like normal, like you saw, the 3 sets of 5. Next week will be either 3 sets of 5 again or 3 triples. We'll see how the vibes are, but the sets of 5 weren't too bad. And yeah, that's it for this one. I'll talk to you in the next one, and I hope you have a great day. Peace.